Friends, today it is all about leaves, all the leaves. Leaves can drive us nuts, seriously, because some of us absolutely love leaves. I do, I do, I do. And for us, it's about getting into like a habit, a pattern of repeating the same type of leaves all the time and trying to get out of that. And some of us just feel completely overwhelmed when it comes to leaves. So today we're going to be painting all the leaves with Dagger brushes especially, and some others that I'm going to mix in and surprise you with. It's going to be loads of fun, and let's just get right down to it. Okay, so here's the thing about leaves. We've got, let's just establish our brushes here. I've got the queen bee of them all, 1/4 inch dagger, 1/2 inch dagger. We're going to get the 3/4 inch dagger, and we also have our 1/8 inch dagger. If you have both of my brush sets, you have all of those brushes because they're kind of a mishmash from both sets. Okay, so we're going to start with those for sure. All right, I love turquoise, it's amazing. Yes, Sarah, thank you. We're going to try to do a marigold leaf. I just have to kind of remind myself what they look like. I should have taken a bunch of clippings outside, but I didn't. But it's okay because I took other clippings. Anywho, friends, if you do have a question, remember to put a bunch of question marks in front of it. It's so much easier for me to see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anne's got her daggers lined up. So let's just paint a very basic leaf with a dagger. And if there's another brush that you want me to paint the same leaf with, please let me know and I will get it out. So if you're like, okay, paint that same leaf with a number 12 round, I'll be all over that. Okay, I'll be all over that for you. But you just need to tell me. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so I'm going to go big. I'm going to go with the 3/4 inch dagger. It's just paper. I'm going to grab whatever sludge is, literally whatever is on my paper or palette here. Okay. I do have my Roman schmalls. I did get a request for those on Instagram for the live. I need a little bit more color. And we're just going to do, notice where I'm holding. So right as the ferrule meets the handle. Okay. Curve side down. As I press into the paper, that's going to be the quote top of my leaf. So press, curve it out and drag, curve it out and drag, start to twist and lift. Stop twisting as you're lifting at the end. And that lift at the end should be slower so you get that nice point. Let me show you what happens if you don't lift slowly. You get that. You got to lift slowly. So press, it's a curved press, start to twist a little, and then lift slowly, and you get that nice point at the end. Yes, let me do that with a number 12. You got it, you got it. So you're gonna need more strokes, basically, okay? So press, curved, drag, twist, still twist the brush, and slow lift. Now that as a standalone could be a gorgeous leaf, but if you want it broader, just repeat and kind of meet in the middle. So you can get a very similar shape, but you're going to need a second stroke. All right. I'm going to do a couple more of those with the number 12 round. Now let's see what happens if we hold it out kind of in the middle of the brush. All right. Press, kind of a curved drag, start to twist, slowly lift. It's a little skinnier, and then repeat, right? Okay, that is kind of the basic stroke. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that with all the others. And I got to go a little darker. I want y'all to really be able to see this. Okay, I'm going to hold it down further, press, start to twist in between those 3 fingers and lift. Now I kind of hesitated, so I got a weird shape. So I'm going to double up on that. Press, start to twist, slow lift. Repeat it if you want something different. And then of course you can make really thin strokes. Hold your brush almost perpendicular to the paper for control. And you're going to get nice wispiness. Oh, absolutely. You do not need to be quiet. Pump it up, pump it up. Sue, keep pretending to work. Work it, work it. They're not gonna know. They're gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. How does that little meme go? Oh my gosh, so funny. Now I'm just dropping in some more color where things are more damp, right? Because, you know, why not? All right, so that was the 1/2 inch. And then let's go to the quarter, baby, quarter. Press, drag, and lift, press, drag, and lift. I find with the smaller daggers, the shapes get a little more, dare I say, angular, even though they're still not really angular. Press, drag, a little twist, right? Press, drag, a little twist. Press, drag, a little twist. Somebody commented that they felt like in a video, it was an older video, and they're like, you know, I feel like you're twisting at the end, and you didn't actually verbalize that you're twisting at the end. And I was like, you know what? I think I am twisting at the end. So it is. It's a little bit of a twist. And I think it was kind of an unconscious twist. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Okay, so your leaf with the 3/4 inch dagger looks like a pear. Let me see. Let me think about why that might be. Less pressure as you start, and then very quickly go into more pressure, and then just make sure you got a slower lift. Try an upstroke as well. If things are looking too heavy on the bottom, high splotch, let me turn you into leaf. Is that kind of what you did? Is that why you think it? Because that kind of looks pear-ish. If you maybe you did an upstroke and too quick of a lift, because that's pearish. Maybe you did an upstroke with too quick of a lift. Let me know. So think about, was it an upstroke or a downstroke? These are all downstrokes. And was your lift slow enough? Something to think about. I'm going to grab some more paper here because I actually want to preserve. I love this I've got a little series going. I got a little series going. I want to show you. Oh, it's in here. Dirt. That I want to submit to my art licensing peeps. So this one is one I did for Patreon, and it's just like this super cool floaty where I paint with water first, like just that old school technique. I didn't invent it. Yeah, so Sarah, you did an upstroke, and you need to, so try a downstroke and really slow down that lift at the end. Okay. So so I've been painting with water first, you know, super old school, super, you know, whatever, and then dropping in stuff and then doing tight details. And then I did this the other day live. So I'm keeping this going because I can submit these because they all kind of relate. Isn't that cool? They all kind of relate. I need to do some leaves with neon in them, and they can become like a licensing series. Anyway, so I want to get off this page before I intrude on this part too much. This palm tree, I taught this also for June's Patreon exclusive video, part of our Joy Maker level. So if you're curious, head on over to patreon.com/ChristyRice and check that out. You can read all about the different levels, what they include. You can sign up for just a month if you'd like, just to get access to, you know, this tutorial. I actually did the palm tree and that pink flower that I just showed. I taught those both in, let me just flash this one at you again, in June's Joy Maker tier. So I did this and this. I'm just, both with Art for Joy's Sake palette. This piece I did Art for Joy's Sake palette, 31 Purple Fish, and Daniel Smith. I had some Daniel Smith going on, the blues especially, the like silvery blue undertones. The light is pretty junk in my studio today, friends. I do have to apologize. Got to apologize for Mother Nature. She's being a playa today. Thank you, Brock. Ah, Mary Ann, don't forget to put those question marks in front of your questions, but I'm glad I saw this one. This is Bindi Desai's watercolor sketchbook. Full disclosure, I helped her. She's a very good friend of mine. I worked with her very closely, not on the development and the sourcing of the paper and everything, but I helped her launch this on Amazon. But so I am biased in terms of I love Bindi as a person, but I am not biased when it comes to the quality of the paper in this daggone sketchbook because it is on fire. It's so good. So it is, if you just search watercolor sketchbook on Amazon, you're going to find it. I also have it linked in the description below, and I'll get a little like affiliate, payment for it. But she's like on page 1 right now for watercolor sketchbook on Amazon. And the texture of this baddie deliciousness is a laid texture. Now, I was always familiar with laid texture paper from my wedding stationery business, and we still use laid texture papers over at Momental. Do you see that? It's very different from a traditional, I mean, let's just get it. So there is Academy here on the left. Can you see my thumb? Academy, Bindi. So traditional cold press, laid cold press. And it just hugs pigment like nobody's business. It's fabulous. Fabulous. It is not a cheap sketchbook, but I mean that her paper is right up there with Arches. But what I love about it, it's not as thirsty. And Arches, because it's such a thirsty cold press, can create pretty wicked learning curve. I want to talk about taking the basic leaf shape. I'm going to go ahead and create the basic with the round again. So press, swoopy, drag, a little twist and lift, and then repeat. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that with the 1/2 inch dagger as well. And we're going to go curve. Actually, I'm going to go, no, I want to go curve side down. Press, drag, twist, slow lift. And if your lift wasn't slow enough, just go in and kind of edit the shape. Okay. So now I want to talk about editing this once we kind of feel nicely confident. Like I always say that, nicely confident. So once you feel confident with this kind of basic leaf, I want you to think about editing its shape. And that's when things start to get interesting and hella fun. All right, so let's go back to this one right here, and we're going to edit. I have nothing in mind. I'm just going to make some bumps. I'll make another bump. Another bump. Maybe we extend that point. Now we're going to run into her over here. But do you see what I'm doing here? When that leaf is wet, you can start editing the shape, right? And it turns into a different leaf. All right. Let's do this with an 1/8 inch dagger. Let's go pink because I'm obsessed with pink plants lately with variegation in the pink zone. So press, drag. I'm going to do a little extra wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. A little extra, extra. I'm going to go right next door. Wiggle. It's almost like a swirl. I'm still applying the same techniques, press, drag, and lift, but I'm adding like a wave. See how I'm doing that? And then lifting at the end. I was running out of paint at the end, but I'm just going to tip my paper, give it a little shaky, shaky, shake. And if it's still not doing what I want it to do, because it's actually not, I'm just going to drag. I really ran out of paint there. This paper, this Academy is thirstier. But look at that leaf. Oh gosh, she's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Friends, my daughter just came in with a fart gun. Hold on. Y'all, I'm sorry. She busts in the door. Show them. Show them what you just did. No, go ahead. Gotta watch this. Show them what you did. Show them what you did, boo-boo. So I'm going to do another one of these tri-colors. And the reason it probably looked dead, did you follow? All right, I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to talk you through it because I have a feeling less color, less is more with these tri-colors, okay? Start with the pink. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Less is more. So press, wave, wiggle, and kind of lift. You're tapering. Remember, we're tapering, okay, for this particular leaf. I'm going to go next with more of a yellow. So that way my green and my pink are not next to one another because you can get mud very easily with green and pink next to each other. And then I'm going to go in with a bluish green. Okay. So my words of advice, less paint, more water, and have your green and your pink be on opposite ends of the leaf and have more of a yellow or maybe a peach in the middle. Yes. Okay. So the pink is from my Art for Joy's Sake palette. I don't want to close this lid. Hold on. Here she is. Links for all of my supplies that I'm using today are already in the description, which is coolio. Coolio. Yes. Oh, Sarah. I mean, I consider myself a teacher. I have a degree in art ed that I never used, but well, until now, I'm using it now. Yay. Coupon codes for my shop. LOL. Yes, I have one that is set up currently. I will shout it out to y'all right now. For ChristyRice.com, type in free ship. And if you spend over $50, you will get free shipping. So depending on where you're located, that could be a savings of 10 to 15%. So that I can give you right now. I have no way of getting in touch with Kristen. So go ahead with free ship. Free ship. I think it's free ship or it might be free ship 50. Try either one, but I'm pretty sure it's free ship. And you'll get free domestic shipping. Okay. That's for US only. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, for US only. So anyway, the pink that I used is this creamy one. So if you don't have my palette, just take, if you have white watercolor or even white gouache, mix it with a little bit of red. You're going to get something close. Okay. Let's try some other colors and some other shapes. I'm going to go back to a dagger. I'm going to go to the 1/4 inch. Remember, friends, if you have a brush request, okay. Anne Marie, I need to move. Okay. Martha says, how do you get the pink and the green to stay separate and not mix to brown? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Keep them on opposite sides of the leaf. If they are on opposite sides of the leaf and they're still mixing, you have too much water on your brush. Let me show you. Let me try to recreate it with too much water to see if that would be the culprit. All right. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do peach in the middle. Lots of water. See how much more water I'm using here? And then I'm bringing in the green. And if I have too much water on my brush, they ultimately are going to come to the middle and make brown. So, I mean, I think it still looks cool. But my guess is, y'all, that you have way too much water on your brush if you're getting muddiness. Muddy. Now, it could also be a factor of exactly the color, like the brand you're using. That could be a factor. So maybe don't bring in the pink at this point. Just focus on, like, you know, analogous colors on the color wheel. So blues, greens, yellows, stay in that realm instead of going opposite on the color wheel, which, don't get me wrong, opposite on the color wheel is hella fun and is exciting. But if it's giving you issues, let's stay away from it for now and focus on the technique. So created a bunch of strokes here, curved edge down, straight up peach, about 70% paint, 30% water. And I went press, sweep, press, sweep, press, sweep, press, sweep. So not so much a drag. It was more of a sweep. Now I'm going to double dip green and pink. Yes, same amount of water to paint ratio. Press, sweep, press, sweep, press, sweep, press, sweep. Holy mother of, you've got yourself the beginnings of a begonia. A begonia. Honestly, I do. I love that pink and the green together. It makes a lovely brown, if you will. Oh my gosh, it's pouring outside and it's making the light better, which is fantastic. And this little color bumping happy accident, also freaking fantastic. All right, I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to walk you through it again, but I'm going to do it with a round brush. Are we ready? Do we like this one? Say yes if you want me to repeat that begonia-like leaf. Just say yes. Oh, second comment was about shipping outside of US. Cool. Hey, Thrifty. I know, I love a good hard rain too. I've got a bunch of plants outside that need to go in the ground. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to water them today. They haven't gone in the ground yet, so I don't have to water them today. Okay. I'm going to do that really cool begonia. Like, actually, let's go back here. Hold on. I'm going to get my acrylic. And I just love this golden high flow. I always call it high flow, but they call it liquid acrylic, I think. I'm going to grab my 000. Here she is making magic, and she does. She does. And this one is a little damp still. And I don't know the variety, but there's a begonia that has little white dots. Yes, I know. As they dry, like, let's get you a little sunlight action view there. Look at this. Anyway, get those dots in there. I want to show you another little thing too, since the bottom of this one is still quite damp. I mean, you can see it glistening, right? So let's get in there. I love this. Get tiny brush. Let's get a little, I don't know, blue. And I'm going to go right at the end. And I'm going to kind of shove some color in, get a little more water on my brush and push. Now I don't want to lose that beautiful tip. Push, push, push. Rinse thoroughly, add a little water, and it is just going to drain that blue down, 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 down. Look at that. So much. And then you can come back in later, which hopefully we will. And I don't want to get cauliflowering there. So I am being mindful of where the damp meets the dry, because that's how you get cauliflowering. Where you have a damp area meet a dry area and it goes. Isn't that fun? Question, the Jelly Roll white pens, do they work in similar manner on watercolor? They can, but because if you're using cold press, because of the texture, you're going to feel frustration. You are, because they're not going to give you a smooth roll, a smooth line. They're just not. Yeah. So here we go. Virginia says Artistro white pens with extra fine tip, Amazon. I want to try those because I haven't. Love that. All right, I'm going to go back to my 1/2-inch dagger, and I'm going to do this leaf. Now, this is a hellebore. And basically, you've got 3 leaves coming together as one. So what I want you to do is just think about an upstroke press, drag, and lift. So press, curve, twist, lift times 2. But maybe start the second one up a little higher, not all the way down at the point. Reload, downstroke, press, drag, not as much of a wiggle, and twist. Same thing here. And then, of course, if you want to edit, right? And then one that kind of goes out here, right? Press. This one's a broader one. I did a little swoop and a little half twist. And then I want to add some like craggy, like little bumps up here. Like, see that? See what I'm doing there? Just put them, right? Little bump, little crag. Everything's damp now. This is wet page is your opportunity. So get those bumps and craggy moments, and then even a little point back here. And there you have it. Isn't that delicious? Look at that. Posca fine liners. There you go. Posca fine liners. Love it. With this gouache. All right. So this is the Sui. I don't know if it's sweet or SUI. So this is baby yellow. That sounds divine. Let's get in it. Let's get in it. And let's do a little bit of this like orangey bit. This is rosy. Oh, it's more like a salmon. That's delicious. So this is Candace, is it Fincher? Candace Fincher on Instagram. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I could be just pulling out that out of my yin yang. Oh gosh, I love it. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to grab a little bit of this baby yellow, get the right consistency. I'm going to double dip with the peachy or rosy, I think it was. And let's just hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Press, drag, lift. Press, drag, lift. Now, do I want to edit? I want to mix. And then I want to edit the shape. I'm going to go bow, bow. I'm almost thinking like a geranium leaf. Oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. This is the thing. You've got to think about your basic leaf shape, which is again going back to this land. Okay? And then how do we edit that shape to create a number of things? How do we do that? How does that work? How does that happen? You give yourself permission to do it. That's how it flippin' happens. That is how it flippin' happens. Okay. So I got a nice base there. I'm looking around behind me back. Behind my back. I don't know what just happened. I became Scottish. Really bad Scottish accent there. I did not try to do that. It's just my mouth wasn't working properly. Yep. Slapping it. I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it with the teal. All right. It's wet and it's going to probably get muddy and I don't care. Okay. So we're going to go in the middle. We're going to go in the middle. And we're gonna lightly, if you've ever painted with oil, you know what when things get smudgy with oil, you got to go in with a light touch or it just gets worse. All right, this is a stylized geranium leaf and she actually needs probably to be more, a little fatter, rounder. So let's do it. This is fun. Thanks, Nicole. Can always rely on Nicole to get us down a glorious pigeonhole. This is very folky. This is feeling folky to me, but I'm here for it. All right. Let me get rid of that stem. We weren't really ready for that. Cute. And I didn't put the little cut in it. It should have like a little cut. So let's go in here and do another leaf. Let's just do a non-begonia to give us the negative space we need to make a cut. Right? And then let's or not a begonia. Good Lord, geranium. I'm going to watercolor, y'all. I'm going to mix media the junk out of this. I still got some residual gouache on my brush and I'm just gonna get into it. Gonna abstract my way into a little scape here. Oh gosh, I'm just going from my mind. My mind. That's kind of fun. I don't know. I kind of like it. I only have is my fake geranium, my paper geranium behind me. So I'm going based on her. You get what you get. And hopefully you don't get upset. Another little, you know how their leaves kind of like pop out between the stems. They kind of like grow down the middle of the stems. There's a little bit of that. Y'all, I really like her, because why not? While we're here, let's go ahead and just turn this around. Gosh, I actually really love the flatness of that leaf and then the spiritedness of the geranium. I'm here for it. And the palette is giving me all of the vibes. Let's just we've got the squash here. Let's get a little on our liner brush and let's talk about linear detail and adding some fun stuff like that. I'm double dipping into the creamy yellow, and we're gonna hold it far down where the ferrule meets the handle. And we're gonna just go up the middle. Right? Now with this particular leaf that I was working on, we're not going to go all the way up. Okay. And then we're also not going to start up here. We're going to start more here because this is the area right here where these three leaves meet. So you also, to kind of get that like that naturalistic vibe, I won't say realistic with this type of painting. I'm going to say naturalistic. To get that vibe, you don't need to pay attention to all the details of your subject matter, but you need to pay attention to certain ones. And one of those important ones being where the leaves meet. If it's like a multi-leafed leaf where there's several leaves joining, like, let me just say it this way. If it's a hydrangea style leaf, meaning there's smaller leaves that make up a whole leaf, I want you to pay attention to the intersection of those three leaves and what is going on at that intersection. All right. Everything else you can kind of make up as you go and be a little bit more imaginary. I'm mixing the green and this peachy color together to just get like a darkness to work into here. And then honestly, that could be all you need. That is a gorgeous, powerful leaf filled with simple detail. Love it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Quell Feathers. I'm glad you enjoy my palette. It is fun painting along. Anybody have any other, I did the gouache, which was so fun. While I'm waiting for any requests, let me know if you'd like me to paint with a particular brush. If you would like me to paint with another palette, I am here for it. Let's just grab this peach. Let's just do let's do a skinny leaf. So curved edge down, press, keep the pressure fairly consistent. Let's grab some of the creamy yellow. Press. This is too thick, but I don't care. Press. And then I'm going to scrape some of this off so we're not wasteful. We're going to go ahead into the more watery middle of this palette, and we're going to refine the shape with a liner brush a little bit. I like that. And then we're going to give it a stem. Ooh, got a little ball on the end. And then give it a stem and then work another one out. Sometimes just adding in those stems too, like getting your stems in, can be really helpful in guiding your next your next mark decision. So press long, skinny. I want to make it feel a little skinnier. So I'm going to go bigger, long, skinny, long, skinny. So it's a press and a drag, but it's more even pressure and there's not like a lot of curving going on. This easily, I mean, these are looking more flowery. They're almost entering pink magnolia territory. However, I will show you how they easily turn back into leaves. Cat's tongue, okay. Watercolor pencils, sure. Let me grab some. I just grabbed these. Are the first ones I saw. These are the Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. So yes, these are really good quality for sure. Their awesomeness is a little bit lost on me. If you've been around here, you know me and colored pencil or watercolor pencils don't always get along. But let me quick show you how you can make these look less flowery given my color choices and more leafy. I really want to use up this lovely gouache. As many of you know, I much prefer gouache straight from the tube and not cured gouache. So I'm afraid that if I let that cure it's going to go unused. I'm just going to be a kind of a brat about it, and it's going to go unused, and I don't want that. I want to use it up. So here we go. Up, thin center line. My advice to you with linear detail is be tentative. Be tentative. Don't try to get a perfect line. I'm trying to get this to focus. Okay. Be tentative and be a little inconsistent with your pressure. You're going to get much more interesting results than if you're trying to be so rigid and get them all exactly the same thickness and exactly the same distance and a continuous line. It can be non-continuous. Okay. Be tentative. Tentative. Actually, this one doesn't have a stem. Hello. I'm so sorry, my love. Let me get you a stem. I'm off camera. Whoops. All right. You could go straighter. Straighter. Okay. And now they're back to leafy. Something about this page, like I want to turn this, I want to make this into a composition that actually works. There is something happening here that I am so excited about. Is that something you'd like to see? Like how to turn this crazy page of like completely disparate things and different mediums into a composition that works? Where could we do that? Should we do that next week? Let me see if I've been missing any questions. Watercolor inks, asks Aubrey. I have so many, but have no idea how to use them or how they compare to the palette pots. Okay, let me take a break too. I'm going to grab those and then I'm going to focus on working with the watercolor pencil request, the cat's tongue, and also the watercolor ink in the process. But let me grab those inks first. Okay, I have Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus Fine Art Watercolor ink. Or are we calling this watercolor, this is like liquid watercolor? Is this kind of what you mean? Let me know. I also just have inks. I have like Bombay inks that we could mess with. They're great fun. Great fun. I have this. This is Black Swan something or other I got in Philly. Really cool packaging that I kind of messed up. I've got a walnut drawing ink. So let me know which of those would be interesting to you. All right, let's get into watercolor pencils. I'm going to go back to Bindy's sketchbook, and we're going to go on the back side of one of these pages because I think cold press would be a better choice. All right, a couple of different ways you could tackle leaves, and also let me get the cat's tongue going. Got two of them. Actually, I've got three because of the travel one. She just fell off the table. All right. So my travel cat's tongue is a little bit of a different design with a longer point compared to its predecessor. And then I've got the number 6 cat's tongue. So let's start by just painting with water. Remembering, however, that good heavens to Betsy. Remembering that hot press doesn't take big washes in a very friendly manner. So then you could take your watercolor pencil and sketch into the water if you want more of that flow. Okay. And then go back in and get some more flow. But you can get some neat effects. You could get right into the line work, but still have it be a little bit more of a diffused effect. See that? That's a fun way to go about things, because why not, right? And then let's go over here and get a little pink and just kind of round out where I went a little rogue with my pencil. There's a fun one. How do we feel about that? Is that a fun, exciting situation for you? Does that feel like something that is worthwhile? Let me know. I'm gonna go with the flat wash brush, the Unshakable Joy brush. I'm gonna grab, let's mix it up. Let's get the Romans out. This is my Roman Schmall palette in my Hellebore empty tin. I filled it with my Romans. All right, let's get into that. Get those on the stage here. And let's paint. I'm going to go with the blue, is some kind of blue. All right. And I'm going to go press and sweep down. Press and sweep down. Big, long, skinny beauty. And I'm going to grab like a teal and I'm going to go on the side here and same stroke, but just kind of let it fall where it does. All right. And then let's get a pencil. Let's get like this lighter green and let's go in here with just some really light strokes. You're gonna see these lines, right? Like these lines aren't gonna disappear, but I actually am kind of wanting to use them to my benefit. You can pull some of that blueness over, that tealness over, drag it in and down, and then go on this edge, this silhouette, and refine. Everything is damp still, so you're gonna get a softer kind of flow with the watercolor pencil, but you're going to get a ton of texture because just the nature of the pencil. That's fun. I like that one a lot. Right? Now you could draw it out, right? Kind of bring it behind and draw it out. Okay. And then grab that teal and start to kind of fill it in. A lot more paint on the brush at this point. Just do a little like stroke down. A lot more paint though. Okay. And then let's see what happens if we take like a yellow. Let's get a little bit more water next to this. Okay. Loosen it up a little. And we're going to take the yellow, start way up at the top and come down and drag it. Oh, yeah. Come all the way over and drag. The point is to drag that wet teal into this white area to almost get a little bit of like a tie-dye effect. Look at that, y'all. That is fun, flipping fun. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Look at. Ah! I'm looking at questions. Hold on. Good, good, good. Watercolor pencils scare me. I'm like, Christy, they just annoy me. And look, yeah, sure, they scare me too. They just annoy me. So I tend to really push the texture with them because I'm like, well, why am I fighting this? They're going to give me texture no matter what I do, right? There's going to be texture in the house. I double dipped with peach, blue, and teal. Triple dipped, sorry. Peach, blue, and teal. Got a little bit of a twisting leaf going there. And then I'm gonna come, I don't want yellow anymore. I want like a teal, like a tealy teal. I'm gonna go in and accentuate. So you can use these more subtly just to accentuate like the twist of a leaf, right? Coming from the edges and just accentuate that twist. Everything's damp, so it's gonna give me, it almost, honestly, all that talk of gelatos, when you put a good quality watercolor pencil in to damp or wet watercolor, it has a gelato feel, just a fine point gelato feel. See that? She's purty. She's purty. Purty, purty. All right, wonderful. Fabulous. Yes, I love these long leaves for abstracts, or, there's so many actual plants out there that have that vibe for sure. So let's do, I'm going to go to a new page. Let's do one of these. I don't want to break it, but we're going to do it. So it's kind of like a elongated, wonky heart shape. We're going to do that with a cat's tongue because I know we have a cat's tongue request. I'm going to go on a different paper so I don't get smudgy. All right. Anything else with the watercolor pencils, just let me know, please, because that was fun. I'm here for it. I'm going to go in my questionable paper. This was the paper I used, friends, in the last video, the one that I uploaded on Sunday. It's from Temu. It's definitely not 100% cotton. So, but I use it, and you know what? It works. So like we did, I think I tore them out. Anyway, we did some fun stuff in here. So if you haven't watched that video, it's linked below. It's linked under my latest video. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Yes, the elephant, that's what we're doing. And I'm going to do some inks, I think, with this as well. Okay. So, cat's tongue, where are you? My desk is in full-blown, beautiful, creative state. I'm going to get that cat's tongue. I'm using the number 6. Now, before I do the cute big leaf, let's just really talk about what a cat's tongue can do with it, just a kind of one stroke situation. Okay, press, drag, lift, press, drag, lift on its side, press, drag, even quicker lift, press and lift, press and lift, press and lift. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff. Then you've got the point, so you can kind of draw, press, wiggle, and change up your pressure. Let's get that out of the, fully out of the, and then fill it in. So you can go from this like precision to fill and wash very easily. With this brush, you can press and fan out for just like, I don't know what's going to happen, leaves. Like, look at that, press, fan out. It's almost like a swirl. And then you could connect, I'm just going to grab some paint here. And then right just with the tip, add little stems, and you've got yourself a lovely little cluster of filler leaves. So that is your cat's tongue and what it can do. It's pretty magic. It's pretty magic. Okay. Now I'm still going to use the cat's tongue, and we're going to paint with water. We're going to do this cool heart-like shape. This is where I started. You see that shape, half of the heart. Remember, the heart is wonky, so make the other side of the heart like a little more like lower down. I'm going to get my puddle going here, and then I'm going to hold it up so you can see the shape I made if you're painting along, okay? You can kind of see it. I really want, can you see it? There you go. There's the shape. All right, and then we're going to take, I'm using the Hydrus watercolor ink, and I am just going to, I am certainly getting my exercise. And I'm going to drop in some of this ink. Sometimes it moves, sometimes it doesn't. So we gotta force it around. We gotta force it. We gotta mush it. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit of regular watercolor in here. The thing, I don't know, and it's also the paper. Like the paper is not letting it move and groove. This is more the paper than anything, I believe. So I'm getting to it. I'm just doing my thing. We're going to try this on better paper. I'm going to add in some pinks. I have always found watercolor inks to be a little, they kind of mess with my flow, if you will. All right, I'm going to do this again. I mean, there's some cool stuff happening here, but it's just the paper is fighting me. So I don't feel like fighting. So we're gonna go ahead and get our heart-shaped leaf. Again, we're working on this one. A little bit lower on the other side of the heart. It's elongated. Let's elongate it a little more. I'm gonna hold this up so you can see, so you can really see the shape that I went with. Okay. You can kind of see it there. All right. Now let's see. I'm really going to make this puddly because I want, that's the thing with watercolor inks. For me, if I'm going to use them, I want them to do cool stuff when I drop them in. And sometimes they don't. Let's go up higher. Yeah. See, I actually like inks for this. Watercolor inks are just, they're a little thicker. I don't know. Just never been my jam. Get some more in there. All right, there we go. Not enough water. And we're gonna swirl. This is fun. Okay, this is fun. Just a controlled swirl. This is fun. All right, let's let it rest. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. The next step for me, and there's almost granulation in there. See, there is granulation in there. It's interesting. Is it because there's actual granulation? Let me see if it gives pigment numbers, or is it just because it's old? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to add a little bit of, oh yeah, it's granulating, which is really so interesting. A little bit of this walnut. No, this is ink. So you're going to see it move and groove a lot more. I didn't really have to force the issue with this. Go along the edges. I like these inks. Like I know, Let's Make Art, Sarah, I know she uses them like in, mixing tray and like really like creates realistic pieces with them. That for me, like I want my pans for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, watercolor inks are much more of like playful kind of a situation like this. Yeah. Yeah. Phthalo green. That makes sense. And that granulates, right? Or am I just dreaming? All right, let me see if I've missed any questions in all of my chaos. Question, ever tried silicone in very liquid watercolor paint or ink like the green puddle was? Like acrylic pouring technique for cells. Oh, I've never tried that. You know what, while we're here though, hold on. Because why not? My desk is already a flippin' hot mess. Why don't we bring out the Winsor & Newton watercolor markers? Why don't we? Holy schmaholes, that's freaking awesome. Ah, I don't know what that was. That was just me being really excited. I get so emotional, baby, every time I think of you. It's happening. I'm singing. We're getting to our groove now. All right, we're gonna go on the edges. We're gonna do a little bit of indigo. Indigo. Nope, you're not gonna fall off the desk. Okay. Belt it, Whitney. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of, oh, freaking beautiful. We're gonna do a little bit of, and I know you're like, why aren't you blotting that up? Because I want the granulation to like do a thing. I'm gonna go on the edge, some contrast dealing. I'm gonna press, look it, don't miss it. Don't miss it, y'all. Contrast detailing, hover the line between the wet and the dry page, and you will be rewarded. You will be deeply rewarded. Now, don't do the whole thing because then it's an outline and then it's questionable. Because I'm not an outline girly. Well, I'm not like a cartoon outline girly. You feel me? Although I appreciate it. I'm in this challenge with Aussie Crafter and friends, and oh my gosh, the skill, like the folks that are doing like the cutest character stuff with markers and cute, cool, like one of the artists sketches helped me remember she just did a like a two-headed dragon cat on the one page in that Create the Book 3 or whatever. Oh my lord. It was redonk. It was redonkulous. Okay, so we're doing a little bit of something, something here, and I'm just letting that puddle roll around because why not? Now it's eventually the puddle will get hung up. Like, see how it's getting hung up down here. So I'm gonna add a little wet marker so it'll continue to flow. It's getting hung up when it starts to dry, and I trust that I'm keeping an eye on that. Mesmerizing. I'm glad. I'm glad. Maybe that Thrifty. So Winsor and Newtons are pigment based. They are. That's right. Because if you look on the back, yeah. So this one's PB 15-1, PBK, PV 23. Ow, ow, so good, so good. That's why they're expensive. So good. I am wrangling, wrestling, bartering, begging with my manufacturer to let me build a pigment-based watercolor marker with a true brush bristly marker tip that is not requiring me to order 20,000 of them. I'm trying. I'm working on it. I feel like I'm chipping away at their resolve. Thank you, Mary Ann. I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. It's just fun. Okay, a little bit up here. I'm going to take this pink one. And that's the only regret I have. Like, it's not a regret because I didn't do it, but it's the only wish that I had with the Winsor Newton watercolor markers is that it was actually a brush tip, because it's not. It's a soft felt tip. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's not a real brush. All right. All right. So what I was hooting and hollering about is I was trying to find, like, I have a granulating medium. Oh, I know where it is. Hold on. My brain just engaged. Okay. My brain just engaged. All right. So I have, what is this? Aquafix. No. That makes watercolor more permanent on different things. Dang it. Ooh, let's do this. TCW stencils. Y'all have heard me talk about them. I mean, let's just throw that in here. Let's do it. Come on. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Poof. Yee! Ah! Love that. Now, I don't have them linked in the description because I didn't know I was going to do it. This is their old packaging. They called it Color Sparks. I think they still do. I have some here. Hold on. I have some of the newer ones here. So this is the newer packaging. Yeah, they're still called Color Sparks. The best. They are my favorite pigment salts. My absolute favorite. And I'm going to pick this one up a little bit. Or, yeah, I don't. Hold on. So fun. And I'm just washing it out a bit. Like, I still haven't mastered pigment salts and like getting that nice, even like poof, poof of pigment. I always get the poof of pigment and then I have to like work it. Work, you better work. I don't know that song well enough. I'm going to stop. All right, I am doing a little something, something up there. Now I've got an edge, so I need to unedge it. So I think that was my watercolor marker. So let me go find that indigo. Well, that's not indigo, but I'll take it. I want to make this one higher to give it the look of this leaf. It needs to be, here, let's push this in a little bit. See, this leaf has got that really nice notch And the notch is also very like notchy. So I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to retrofit that. Let's get some water up here. Oh, it just did it for me. Thank you. Thank you, paint swoosh. All right. It's getting crazy in here, y'all. It's getting crazy. Let me go look at the comments. Yeah, I was trying a little RuPaul. I was, but I didn't have the full confidence in that beat or lyric. All right. How are we feeling about this? Messy desk is the son of a brilliant artist. Oh, well, we're going to go with that, but thank you. You have some Jackman's crystalline watercolors. Would these be the same thing? I believe so. And I have an open cart at Jackman's because I just discovered them. Yeah. Kuiko is a good line. So sailor. What are we talking about there? I missed the conversation. That's okay. Jazz says, this is fun, yo. I would agree, yo. Right, Thrifty? A real brush, pigment-based watercolor marker would be awesome. And you know what I'm trying to do? Do you want to know what I'm trying to do? You want to know? One end, like, let's say like a number 4 round brush. The other end, a flippin' liner. Talk it. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Are you here? Are you here for it? Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. I know. I'm trying to make it happen. I'm trying to make it happen. Yes, I am. Uh-huh. I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah, I've been trying to make these markers for 2 years. And they keep showing me stuff that's like within my budget. And I'm like, no, it's not good enough. So, and I don't, not fixing my budget. More so within my like minimum that I'm able to manage. All right, let's soak up some of this. There is so much beautiful particle-iness happening. And then when this starts to dry, sooner than you probably think, we're going to be able to add the splotchies to give it this vibe. Okay. But can we just, oh, I just picked up a really beautiful big particle. It's why I don't like blotting. Can we just talk about this? Keep your goals. We will get those markers someday. Yes, you will. From your lips to God's ears, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because it needs to happen. Those need to exist. I just put it out there so somebody else with deeper pockets will probably hit it first. But you heard it here. It was my idea. All right, I still haven't found the granulating medium that I know I bought. Ooh, I did find an extra gouache. See, I have these baskets of random supplies that I haven't used yet. And I keep them in baskets based on the time of year that they came in. And I thought there was a blending medium. I have leather paint, y'all. That would be so flippin' fun. Oh, let's look at this marker. What is she? It's a Kuretake, I think. Kuretake. Nobody knows because it's in Chinese. Well, I don't know, at least. Plenty of people know, but all right. While she's drying, I want to see what this does. And then should we do something with markers? It's all right. It's very stiff. Felt tip. But you're never going to find me hating any kind of Kuretake marker. You're just not. They're the bomb.com. They know what they're doing. All right. So we did cat's tongue. We did inks. We're waiting for this big fatty boombalatti here to dry. Does anybody have any other requests? We did a little Roman schmall. Anybody have any other leafy requests for me? Let me see this. Christy, I have cut my larger water brush into a dagger shape. Oh, a water brush set that matches your... Oh, stop. a water dagger brush. Holy. I was just about to say, screw it. I'm going to say it. Holy balls. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it was probably the begonia. Let's do the begonia, but not on this paper because just no. Okay. Begonia. 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 That. Just, I'm still in awe over this thing and still terrified I'm gonna kill her. I did not know begonias could be houseplants until this week. Just saying. All right, let's do this with the cat's tongue. Since we didn't get a ton of cat's tongue time, let's be honest. We just didn't. I got a lovely card. Let's go ahead and read it because we're here from Marie. Let's show this off. I opened it and saw that it was a artwork somebody had created. Like I just peeked and I looked no further because I wanted to open it live somewhere. Oh, look at this. So she says, thank you so much for the watercolor paper, Marie. Oh, I must have sent her some freebie watercolor paper. So she used Windsor Yellow, Opera Rose, Permanent Magenta, Cobalt Violet. Look at that. May 30th, 2024. And this is, I can tell, this is Academy. Look at that. Gorgeous color palette. So anyway, thank you so much, Marie. I appreciate you reaching out, and best of all is the artwork because it goes on my wall of fame. All right, let's get into it. So begonia, we've got another one of those like wonky heart shapes. It's not quite as pronounced. I've got to find this cat's tongue. Did she fall down? Yes, she did. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with a really light green and just work out the shape. Okay. Think heart. I am using the tip of my brush to be my guide. This side is much higher than you even think. And then I'm going to fill in the middle just to not get any weirdness and not get any staining. Okay. And I am starting light, but I want a nice, I don't want a puddle. I don't want a puddle yet. Okay. And then I'm going to go in right away. I'm going to go into my Roman palette. He's got this lovely like violet here. I'm going to get a nice juicy load of it, but then dab twice. And then we're going to do contrast detailing to get that gorgeous. Okay, we're contrast detailing and editing the edge at the same time. So we're kind of like making like a wiggly mark along the edge. I want more color. Wiggly, wiggly. And we're going to make it so that it's not like we're going to skip some areas. We're not going to make it continuous. But the true fact here is that that dark edging is really present all the way around. Let's change up the color a little bit, maybe even like a little presence of a red. But we are hovering that line between dry paper and wet paper. That is the magic of it. All right. That is the magic of it. Okay. Beautiful start. Okay. Now it's going to, it's not as crazy complicated. We're going to double dip into like a raspberry and a purple blot. And we are going to go, that dark color emanates from the center. And we're going to just create, we're going to follow the curve of these the silhouette on this side and on this side. Let me go in and just make that tip a little more defined, put a little scratchiness in it. All right, and then I'm just going to go and I'm actually going to grab my blue from my palette and go in the middle, make it darker, come down, and I'm just dabbing now. All right, we're going to let that go. We're going to let that simmer. All right, one last thing I'm going to do is, oh, I wish I want a fluorescent pink really bad, really bad. Hold on. I've got the Corrine brush marker and I'm going to dab it in up here because there is a very strong brightness in the actual leaf. You probably can't see it on camera, but I'm just going to press that in because I want to be extra. So I use the Corrine Brush Marker Pro. You could use a watered down acrylic gouache. You could use, you know, any fluorescent. You don't have to go fluorescent, but I wanted to. All right. Now there's a little hard edge here that I'm not, I'm on the fence about it. So I'm going to soften it a little. Just keep rinsing your brush when you're softening if you don't want to be carrying color too far. All right, the other thing I want to do is where this dark eggplant meets the kind of silvery green, right? It has some unevenness, so I'm going to lift and blot it away and lift, but I'm lifting towards this point, towards the fluorescent point. Lift, right? Lift, blot it away. Always lifting towards that point, because again, you want to pay attention. You can make up a lot of stuff in your leaf journey, but you want to pay attention to some of the basic structural stuff. And all things in this leaf, all lines, all things lead back to this point right here. Let me take a look at questions. Quell Feathers says, I love how daring you are with color. It always inspires me to be more daring right after I watch you. And if I miss watching you for a while, my color chases revert to safe again. I love that. Color chases. I love that. Oh, did you say? I think you meant choices, but I actually like chases. Color chases. I love that. I love that. Oh, cat's tongue are hard to find in Canada. Interesting. All right. So while this dries, actually, let's get a stem in here. Because honestly, you could let this go at this. I hope I have time to finish this bad boy. There's like almost like a dot, like a raspberry dot, and then come up with like a uneven stem. That feels pretty good. Okay. I want to get back to this baddie over here. Dry enough. I'm going to go back to the gouache. And I'm looking at these splotches. Splotches can feel scary because do they have a pattern? Do they, you know, but again, try to remember they're all emanating out from that center line. When you really get right down to brass tacks, that is what's happening. I don't want you to try to paint every ever-loving splotch. I just want you to notice where some are thicker, some are thinner, some are running off the leaf, right? That's what I want you to pay attention to, and try not to get stuck on the fact that, you know, you could make the choice to place them perfectly compared to your subject matter. Now let's get a center kind of, do I have enough color on my brush? I do not. Let's go down the center here. All right, let's get a little bit of this coming out here. It's subtle on this leaf. It's subtle. I'm actually making it a little less subtle because there's nothing subtle about me. All right, getting back into the gouache, and I'm just going to continue. I am looking at my subject matter leaf. Let me see if I can get it into the shot here without knocking a million things over. All right, I am definitely looking at her. All right, but I'm not like married to her. It's much more wet down here, so I'm probably going to wait. But it's not as wet up here. I'm using a number 6 round at about a 30-degree angle. Right? Notice that some of these are going like almost like horizontal to the top of the leaf. Like if the top of the leaf were a straight line, some of these are definitely horizontal. So you just want to look for general characteristics and not exact placement and yada, 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 right? I'm going to leave it. I'm almost going to leave it there. There we go. I'm going to leave it here for now because I want my eye to rest on it. And I need to add a stem, y'all. One thing to notice about the stem on this one, remember, notice things. It's not coming right out from the center. It really isn't. The stem connects right here, right here. So I can put that stem kind of wherever I want. It could come right there, and it's still going to make some sense. Okay. There you have it. All right. So that's that. Let's come back, see how she's feeling. She's still damp, but I want to test and see if we can get a little bit of line work in here, because that has been my goal with this one. I do want to get a little bit of line work, even though she is incredibly effective, I think. And yes, I'm bragging on myself. Do it. You're allowed to brag on yourself, y'all. All right. Some of this ivory color. There we go. I want it to be silvery. Let's get her back in view. All right. And I'm noticing again, all of these veins are emanating from a center line. So let's get our center line a little thicker up here. And then, whoop, that is not dark enough. Or that I just don't have enough on the brush. Center line. All right. Now, I'm really going to focus on just over here in the lighter areas. It's a little too damp, but it gives us an idea. I don't know, y'all. I might want to do it with purple. I kind of liked it without the veins, but it's just the first few strokes. And I definitely don't like the green. Oh yeah, I like purple. I've got this just like orchid purple. I mixed my purple from the Art for Joy's Sake palette with a little bit of pink and a little bit of that creamy ivory, and I'm here for it. Yeah, I like it a lot. Just gonna go right over that green. Oh yeah, that's the money. You've got the money, honey. I've got the time. Oh my gosh. Grew up on Willie Nelson. We'll go honky tonkin'. I don't know the next line. And then you've got bits that come out. And the key here, remember I said notice general structural things make up the rest. The key with the line work is uneven, like your line quality needs to be super kind of all over the place. Thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. All right. Now you could go back in with this color and make some textural marks in some places around the edge to give it even more of like a sawtooth kind of feel, and a little bit darker up here because we lost some of our dark edging, which is very, very I think integral to this leaf feeling like the begonia that she is. Now for now, I'm going to rest on her because it's working. Can I get a heck yes? You love the purple veins, Tammy? Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm loving that. I'm loving that. All right. I'm just giving you a looky-loo at all that we do in here. Oh gosh, I am definitely, maybe I'll go live on Instagram tomorrow and work this out. That might be fun. This little staycation that I've had this week has been fun. I went live on Instagram twice, two or three times. Really fun. I've had, I've just allowed myself the time for that. I know we didn't paint this one, but go ahead and go watch that Insta live. It was about 45 minutes, I think, the other day. So watch that one if you want to see the rubber plants. But yeah, heck yeah, loads of fun. Give this video a boop a like if you did have fun. Friends, if you're here on replay, if you were here the whole time on replay, go ahead and let us know you're here. Remember to ask questions, get into the comment section and get involved. Oh, you don't do Instagram? Ah, no. Just go to Instagram.com. Like, no, on your phone. If you have a smartphone, just download the app, get an account. It's fun. If you love YouTube, Instagram, Watercolor Land on Instagram is a whole different scene. The other thing about me on Instagram is I vlog daily on Instagram in the story section. So you get a whole different peek into what I'm doing, what I'm working on, updates on products. Let's just, can we look at this granulation? Oh, anyway, I'm going to leave it that way. I do all sorts of stuff on Instagram stories. Anyway. All right, friends, this has been such a blast. I am off to take some 8-year-old boys to a bounce place and be the master of tonight's sleepover and just pray for me. Pray for me. All right. Thank you for being here. It's been a blast. Love you all. Mwah. Happy painting. And I will see you definitely next week, if not before.